My name is Alex Leon. I was very shy, so all my teens I spent only with dudes. I was in a technical high school learning technical engineering, coding, wiring, designing circuit boards, stuff like that. I was completely unable to touch, even way beyond my teens, and it really bothered me, right? I was awkward in my own body, I was awkward approaching anyone, I was awkward talking to women. I had to be really like calm and confident and chilled out for me to be able to go outside of myself a little bit. So in pretty much all my young life, if somebody would have told me, hey, Alex, why don't you talk to that girl, right? Which happens, like you go out with your buddies, you have your high school little parties. I was like, no, and that would be for years. And that was really annoying me and bothering me. All boys technical high school. And like many men, I wanted to be successful in many ways, right? We all want to get somewhere. I mean, you guys came here today because you're in a situation where you're like, this is where I am and this is where I want to go to. And there's a delta, there's distance, and let's figure this shit out and do something about it. But I realized early on, for whatever reason, I can't give you an answer on that, career success without relationship success won't make me happy. I knew that even if I have a great career, I get a great position in a good company, I raise my income all the time, maybe I can buy a cool car one day, maybe I can even work out and have a gym, maybe I can buy a nice house or live in the place I want to be or have a beautiful apartment. I had the sense of, what's the point? Like I literally imagined myself with like maybe a Ferrari or Aston Martin sitting in a cafe, and then again a girl walking past, and I'm thinking, damn, she's beautiful. Maybe my Ferrari, maybe I get her attention. And I knew, like, how would that feel, having everything but not the ability to be social and reach out? And I realized, like, well, it's kind of worthless. Like, imagine you're a billionaire, but you can't talk to women. So I went really hard. I started cold approach, like I said, 10 years ago, struggling at the beginning. Started experimenting with my fashion. You know, that's when Liam took me shopping and I was like, nope, absolutely not. I remember. Started playing around with that and met my mentor, James Marshall, and I was working for him for 8 years. So I came in as a camera guy and then worked my way through the company, which was crucial, right? I always say that in every video, I could have not figured the stuff out, not only in seduction, everything I know. I mean, you know, who of you guys would be where you are now in any area of your life if you didn't have mentors? So I was lucky with James. He accepted me into his tribe and worked really hard and started coaching 6 years ago. Started then realizing day game is cool, but how about, where were all the models? You know, the models always seem to be in like some private party. So I started doing house parties in 2019. Sorry for the flex. Now traveling around the world with models. This is my life about 8 weeks of the year now, when I'm not locked in an office. So I have some authority, being the shy nerd virgin until 19, not being able to do anything, to being relaxed in environments like this. Now girlfriend, relationships, different dynamics, monogamous, open, and so on. So I've done a bunch of stuff. Now, for the last 6 months, how long has it been now? 18 months. 18 months running an online program called Social Transformation Program, which some of you guys in here are in. And that's been great. So it's kind of like everything I worked for, putting it in one program, helping guys not only on the street for a couple of days, which is great for breakthroughs, but helping them over a longer period of time, consistently, on a regular basis, with their steps, right? Because you can learn a lot in 2 days, but you can learn much more in 5-6 months. Cool. So who is this talk for, real quick? If you want to feel good, you want to get ahead, you want to have a fulfilling life, you want skills and mindsets, who wants that? To manifest top 5% stuff in your life, whatever stuff is, I'll leave it up to your imagination. You are coachable, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are, and you want healthy relationships with women and yourself, very important. Who agrees with this statement? It's confusing being a man in 2024. A lot of couples meet online. Like who has tried dating apps or is on dating apps currently? That's pretty much. Who is happy with dating apps? One person? Okay, yeah. He's a handsome gentleman, I get it. Yeah. All right, so that's one of you guys. It's not only a problem that dating happens on social media, it's a problem that women have comparisons now. They look at other men from other countries and then compare what they have, and it's a whole fucked up thing, like a constant comparison, right? Home offices, COVID, people working from home, becoming less social. So that's the current trends. Then we have future trends. We have potentially AI girlfriends, right? I literally had a meeting today in the morning with a partner of a big investor that I know, and they bought a lot of data from Tinder, from Bumble, from Grindr. He's actually investing in Grindr. He said it's one of his best performing assets, like investments, because dudes on Grindr are having a great time all the time, right? They're just like, hey, you want to fuck? Yeah, sure, let's fucking do it. Dudes on Grindr spend more than 1 hour per day on the app. Hello, welcome. And not so the case with Tinder, Bumble, and so on. Most guys on Tinder, as we see here in the room, are not very satisfied. Where will these guys turn to? Potentially AI girlfriends. So, let's talk about this. Is dating fucked? And if we talk about dating, obviously we talk about women, and the women are the selectors still for now, right? And we're trying to make ourselves attracted to them. So I Googled what women look for in a man. So I put it in Google, and the first hit was this efficient box. And the main 9 things here was integrity, emotional availability, vulnerable, they want a guy to be intelligent, mature, confident, honest, has a sense of humor. Nice, makes sense. So who in here would say they're emotionally available, have integrity, are intelligent, are honest? What are you guys? Raise of hands. Who thinks like, yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. So what's the problem? Most of us have most of these traits, I would say, right? Furthermore, next Google hit, big study, 60,000 women. Number one thing that almost 90% of them want was a partner with kindness. Just a kind guy. Yeah. Need some kind guy. 20 qualities of a good man, and no, manliness isn't one of them, in case you thought you want to be manly. Which is obviously like, what the fuck, right? Like, clearly we know that's not true. Like, we've all tried. Like, who has tried being nice to girls and then get disappointed that they didn't get what they want? I have many, many times, and it's fucking frustrating. So what the fuck is going on? Do they want a guy like this? I mean, yes, because they're famous, but let's say these dudes would not be famous. You know, like really in their body, feminine side, and so on. Well, maybe. So I checked YouTube. This guy popped up, which often he has good stuff to say. And in this particular clip I liked, he talked about, they analyzed the best-selling female sexual literature. So what are the books that sell the best to women? What is in those books? And mainly, what are the main male characters in those books? And he found out in that according to the sexual literature, the top 5 are pirates, billionaires, surgeons, werewolves, and vampires. I was like, there's a bit of a contrast here of like, I don't know how emotionally available a werewolf is, or how intelligent a pirate is, or how, I don't know. I mean, a billionaire for sure is confident, but how is his sense of humor? So there's this big contrast. And I made the conclusion, okay, they want this and they want this. They are just not honest or aware or, I don't know, self-aware enough to admit that or to even tell that themselves. So I call it the awareness line. I just call it that right now. So what women actually look for in a man is the part here and the part here. So they're unaware until you even enter their consciousness, right? So you might be kind, mature, yada yada, but she doesn't see you because you don't trigger her primal emotions. You don't trigger that sense. And only once she's aware of you, only once she sees, okay, this guy's a little bit of a bad boy, this guy's a bit confident, this guy has a little bit of the werewolf vampire traits, you know, then she becomes aware of you. And then, of course, you should be kind. Of course, you should have a sense of humor. Of course, you should be mature, and so on. Which is a problem, because if you don't have the first traits, you don't exist to women, and that's brutal. That feels really bad to be a man and kind of get that sense of, damn, they don't notice me. Like, I'm on dating apps, I'm doing my best. They don't notice me. I try to be nice in social events, they don't notice me. I even try to say hi to them on the street, but they just walk past me. Who can resonate a little bit with that at some point in their life, where you're like, I'm not being seen? It's brutal. And we want to start getting noticed, therefore. So how we do that? Also, disclaimer, what attracts women maybe doesn't keep them, okay? So most of the time, I talk about attraction, because that's what guys care about, that's what the content is about. Of course, I could do a whole talk on relationships, how to keep women, how to keep them around, how to handle them long term, but let's focus on the first thing, which is getting women into our life. And then going on dates, having sex. So, the phase one, attracting women. How do we attract them? Let's look at what works according to data. Who has seen graphs like that? Like online going up, everything else going down. There was another one which was like 45 online, but then they found out that most of the, the bar ones was also online. It was just two people who met online meeting the first time in real life in the bar. So when you take that out, it's now insane. Like, it's mostly online now. So couples meet online. So why do I talk about cold approach all the time? Why do I talk about becoming social and having approaching skills and dressing well, when seems to be the case that online is so amazing? Don't we just should put all our focus on just creating a kick-ass Tinder profile? Maybe. But what's the reality? I mean, we did it by show of hands. Out of 20 of you guys who used it, only 5% had a good experience. There's this amazing subreddit, you can look it up yourself. It's called Tinder Data. And guys export their log and upload it to the service, and then you can see, okay, this dude, Mr. Grapefruit, he did 13,000 swipes, he got 11 matches, which is already insane, 3 chats, 0 dates. Mr. Shitso, 24 male, 22,000 swipes, 200 matches, almost all chats, good, 9 dates, 0 sex. 27, 129,000 swipes, many chats, I don't know how many dates, probably not a lot. 24,000 swipes, 1 date, maybe no sex. Sometimes they cut it off. There was one female, which I thought is nice. She got 3 relationships out of Tinder. So it worked for her. That's good. In 9 years though, still like, eh. So that's weird, like everybody's meeting online, but also according to this data, I mean, sure, these are the most frustrated kind of guys, I get it, they post on Reddit and so on, but it seems like there's, again, a mismatch. It doesn't really work. There's an amazing YouTube channel that made a simulation about the standard Tinder dater. Also the guy I talked to today about in the morning, he said, well, in New York, it's the closest to 50-50, so it's like 55 male, 45 female. In the UK, what was it? It's like 65-35? 70-30. In India, it's 85 men, 15 women on Tinder. So he simulated that, and then basically came to the conclusion, and this is matches, and again, we just learned match doesn't lead to date or sex, but okay. If you're not in the top 10, 20% of attractiveness as a man, physical attractiveness, which only 3 of you guys in here are, but I won't tell you who. I'm one of them, not. Then you don't even get many matches, right? I mean, you guys can read the graphs. So again, why is it so successful? Why do couples meet? My hypothesis, it's not that dating apps work so well, it's just the only thing guys do these days. Right? So, of course, if people don't meet in church anymore, they don't go to bars that much anymore. Like, who is regularly going out in here? I'm just curious. Who's regularly going clubs, bars, like maybe once a week? Okay, 20, 30% of you. Okay. Who's going to church? One guy, married. Club, same. University, sure, but a lot of studying from home these days, at work. So if these things aren't working anymore, of course what's left is online. So that's where people meet. Which kind of sucks, because online sucks. Now, I get it. All these other things require you to be masculine, to be kind of like the things that the women don't list you to be, right? It means you're bold. It means you're maybe a bit dangerous. You take risks. You try stuff out. You put yourself out there. And it's very scary, especially now where we have all these things in the media. I've also heard that the subway here often has like banners of like, don't do anything sexual, never touch anyone. I was in New York City, same thing, right? There's like advertising in the subways that just warn dudes like just in their face every day on the way to work. Like, if you ever even think about talking to a woman, you are a molesting, rapist asshole. And I'm joking here, but it's horrible. Like, it really, I've coached many, many guys who really had that in their mind after years and years and years of spending time in such environments. And then the other problem is like, who are these banners really for? It's just like the less than 1% of really fucked up men who, yes, they're frustrated, they're incels, they talk shit about women, right? They have really bad ideas how the world works. They're just in their fucking meme hole on 4chan and they're just manipulative and dark triads. But none of you guys are that. You know, you're cool, nice, friendly guys. You have all the other 9 traits that women want, but they don't see you. Okay, so if Tinder doesn't work, what works better? Let's ask our friend Andrew. What is he preaching? Not bad stuff, right? His main thing is make a lot of money, just ignore the bitches for a while, fair. And a lot of guys come to that conclusion of just like, I'm just gonna not date for 10 years, just gonna become multimillionaire and then everything will work out. Fitness, get fit, not a bad idea. Work on your style, work on your brotherhood, have your man around. Because the man will stay, women come and go, bitches ain't loyal, bros before hoes, and so on. Not a bad message. I have an alternative to that in terms of specifically about dating success. Because sure, it sounds cool to be like, I'll just only focus on money and fitness, but we all want intimacy, right? Like, we want to have somebody who supports us. Like, it would get lonely really fast. And I think many of you guys have seen this pyramid before, where I'm basically saying, well, first you have to figure out your inner game. You have to be at a decent level of confidence, love yourself. Then you can start meeting people in real life. Then you can promote yourself on social media to stay in touch with the people you meet. And then long-term, build a social circle, right? We don't want to run up and down the streets forever, if that's what cold approach is for you. It's not for me. For me, it's being social in general. But eventually, expand, be a social person, bring people into your life, make friends, right? Sure, have a brotherhood. Like, friends doesn't mean only know girls who you want to fuck. Right? Another question you can ask yourself is, how much time you spend each week talking to females that you don't want to fuck? Right? Are you a little bit in the PUA mindset of, the only girls I'm going to talk to are the ones that I could have sex with, and everybody else doesn't matter? It's not a good mindset. So this is how I see it. I'm not against making money, fitness, style, it's all good stuff. But it's a little bit like the obvious, the tree. And then the roots, what the integrated man has, is a balanced approach to life. So, really what you need as a man is charisma, confidence, social freedom, approaching skills. Because again, like I realized young, if you don't have the ability to reach out and meet people, and I'm not talking about just young, sexy ladies, I'm talking about everyone here. And sexual skills, if you have sex with women, you want to kind of keep them. And beautiful thing is, all of these things you can learn, right? Like your looks, your height, your ethnicity, it's given to you. Often, your money situation, you can work on it, for sure. You can get rich if you work hard. But these things you can definitely learn. And you can learn them in a relatively short amount of time. You don't need many years to get better in the bedroom. You don't need many years to gain social freedom. You can do that in a week, really. So the branches and leaves, even if they burn, the root is what matters. So, for example, if a charismatic guy, you can imagine this yourself, it's just a charismatic guy with a great social circle, gets a little bit fat for whatever reason, loses all his money, let's say his business partner fucks him over, he'll be able to recover, right? He can build it again. So, what do we focus on? Because I think a lot of you guys are a little bit in that situation. Who has seen this before in one of my videos? 5 elements. So, me and Liam came to the conclusion of like, a lot of guys, and we know, not the conclusion, we talked to a lot of guys what they focused on over the last couple of years. And a lot of guys focused a lot on money and body, mainly. And then they're frustrated because like, well, I'm 37 now, I just bought a BMW, I look better, I make good money, I have a nice apartment, and I'm by far still not getting the women that I want. What's going on, right? I worked so hard. I worked for 10 years, 15 years to get to that position. And I had the promise of, well, men peak in their 30s and, women want money and therefore I should be fine. But they're not getting, and then they kind of get angry at this, fucking promoter or DJ or artist who gets all the bitches, even though he's broke and the loser and didn't even work and he's not even smart and doesn't even read books. It's frustrating. Reality is, you have to work on your charisma and lifestyle. I mean, you can imagine that. Like a barista working in Prague, right? In a nice street where young ladies come in after their yoga session. So he's like in a cafe/juice bar. And he's just chatting up the girls in a nice way, calibrated, not even moving into them. But obviously he's earning minimum wage. And he's just wearing whatever, a t-shirt, and his body is like slim, not fat, but normal, will have way more results than the banker who is stuck in an office, who doesn't have any female friends, in a place like London, right? Makes sense, all right? Okay, how do we develop these root skills? So how do we gain charisma, which we should focus on? My answer, cold approach, aka the art of meeting people in real life. Well, you already know this, right? That's no surprise for you guys. Okay, Alex is the guy who talks to girls on the street. Why is he telling us to approach girls on the street? We know, right? And I know that you know, So you know this, but you're still here today. So as I was preparing this, it made me think like, okay, it's kind of out there, like cold approach is good. Guys know to do it, but it's still not really doing it until they pay me a lot of money and I'm on the phone with them or literally standing next to them or literally pushing them to it. There's a big resistance, right? They're not doing it. They know it's good for them. They see me on YouTube. They're not doing it. So something is holding you back. What's holding you back? First of all, it's hard, right? It challenges us with a lot of our insecurities and negative beliefs. It's challenging society. It's challenging what everybody around us tells us how the world works. So, fucking hard. And it was hard for me. It took me 1 or 2 years to get started, right? I read the game. That was cool. And I did some of that card trick stuff and peacocking stuff. Should have put photos. I had like balloons in my hair. Like I had like a bandana and then I put like 2 balloons and I was wearing like 2 watches and then I was wearing like a lock on my like hoodie. And I always brought a deck of cards to the club. Because without that deck of cards, I was like nobody. I was like my way in. And that worked for a little bit. I was also a white guy in Central America, which probably also helped. So why did I succeed? Like with anything in life, low intensity effort will lead to small outcomes, to small results. You won't become a balanced man or an integrated man or a well-rounded, charismatic man by having a balanced lifestyle, okay? With anything in life, if you want to get rich, you just have to fucking lock down for a while. Like actually rich, you know, you want to build a startup. I don't know if you guys tried that. It's cruel. You know, for many years, you just have to do 16 hours a day and give everything else up and say no to every social offer. That's what it takes. If you want to get really fit, you won't do it with like 2 hours a week, right? Some fitness guys, but like who got really jacked working out 7-minute workouts 4 times a week? I don't know, I didn't. Yada yada. So I just went really fucking hard and did that for 6 months. So I wonder in this room, because I said you guys know cold approach is good, how many have never done a single cold approach? All right. How many have done like, you know, maybe less than 20 in their life? 1, cool, fine, yep, don't be shy, it's fine, it's not on YouTube. How many have done less than 100? Okay, and how many do it regularly? They see a girl, they walk up to her, they start conversations. Cool, very interesting. So, and then what are the other ones that didn't raise their hands? Shout out.
Not regular.
Not regularly, but more than 100. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Interesting. There's 3 types of guys. There's many types of guys, but for the purpose of this presentation, there's 3 types of guys. Generic guy, pickup artist, and integrated masculine. And I think people are afraid, like the generic dudes, which everybody of us is at some point in their life, and most of us are still, right? Wants to become the integrated masculine, wants to have all these attributes, but is afraid to be seen as the pickup artist. So it's kind of like a dilemma, right? Like I told you, I was a pickup artist for a period of my life. I approached a lot of girls. A lot of people thought I'm weird, right? People looked at me. A lot of girls, maybe I made them uncomfortable here and there, right? So I was a little bit of a pickup artist to become what I'm now, which is like relaxed. And when I see a beautiful woman, I can walk up to her in a very relaxed way. I don't jump in front of her anymore and say, hey, I saw you over there and I thought to come over and tell you that you're beautiful, right? Like I let go of that kind of acting thing. But I definitely did it many times and I don't regret it. So the generic guy, why is there a German flag? That's ChatGPT?
I think so.
That's crazy. Why did they make it German? Okay, the generic guy is, you know, big problem, has the same friend circle since uni. He never chooses the girl. You know, who had that experience that the girl usually chooses you when you're in a relationship? Definitely for me for the first 7 years of my relationship. Long relationships because can't do anything better. So once he is in a relationship, he doesn't let go. He's afraid of letting go because he knows, fuck, I don't want to be single because being single is brutal. He dresses safe to avoid, you know, weird comments from coworkers, and he's obviously afraid to take social risks. And well, he thinks of himself as a nice guy, and he kind of wants to be seen as a nice guy because he doesn't want to upset anyone, right? He gets very concerned. He's very empathetic. You could also say it's not a bad thing. Like, he's worried what people think about him. That's not a bad thing, you know? You're not a loser if you worry what people think about you. You are just a bit in a disadvantage if it rules your whole life. That's the problem. Now there's the pickup artist. Mystery, other dude from LA. What's up with these guys? I mean, many of us, me included, really looked up to these guys, right? They hacked the fucking social matrix. They got all these chicks out of clubs and bars, and it was amazing. But they're definitely sex obsessed. They're definitely a little bit narcissistic. They're alienating their friends because all they talk about is game all the time. And it's some guys are like, whoa, but it's often also the other weird narcissistic pickup dudes. And other friends are like, please don't talk to me anymore. Secretly resents women, which is tricky because he's always saying, I want to get laid, I want to get laid, I want to get laid, but actually often has a problem with women, right? It's kind of like using them, doesn't really like them. He's manipulative to get what he wants, and obviously he's caught in a loop. So he's trying to attract the girl, get her, bang her, next, okay? And I've done that for sure for a while, and that's fine, because you have to do that for a little bit to have that intense period of your life where you make experiences and where you learn, okay, maybe I've upset some people here, or maybe that's not the way. He's also afraid to be vulnerable. Now, we transition into the integrated male. He is a social ninja, okay? He's not thinking in these terms anymore of target, close, lay count, number close, kiss close, sex close. She's a 7.8, da-da-da. You know, he's just social. He moves through the world in a social way. He's mainly okay with himself, so he doesn't need the outside validation all the time from women that the pickup artist needed to feel good about himself. Because that's the problem when you go super hard in the game all the time. You feel empty when you not get laid, and then you also start feeling empty when you get laid. And then you feel empty all the time because it's constant external validation. He understands social dynamics on another level. He understands what women actually want. So he understands both sides. If they want a kind guy who's also a werewolf. He has female friends. He doesn't try to fuck everyone all the time. And sex happens for him naturally. He's not constantly planning this stuff because he has female friends, and some turn into lovers, and then some stay friends but bring other girls, and then he's also moving around. He's just being social, and it just happens. So he has actually maybe more sex than the POA who's so concerned about it. He wants a family long term, not, doesn't have to, but most guys want eventually. They're like, all right, I want to settle down. Now, a lot of you guys are type 1 and want to become type 3. I mean, who's this exciting to become an integrated man who goes through life in that? Who is like, that would be nice. Seems like a cool idea. Well, most of you, thank you. I would say mostly fear. You guys let me know if that's true. Fear caused by overthinking, caused by lack of presence. I'm arguing that we established cold approach is good, right? Who is on board? Cold approach is a good way to develop yourself as a man, just to establish it. All right, cool, we're on the same page. But we're often not doing it. Who is still most of the time not saying hi to that chick on the street that they see because of fear, right? Most of you guys. I argue it's because of fear. Fine, we are afraid. Why are we afraid? Because we're overthinking. Because as soon as we see her, we start thinking, maybe she's busy. She's on the phone. Oh, I don't want to be creepy. Oh, I'm not wearing my lucky shirt. Oh, she's walking a bit fast. That would be rude. Oh, she had some ring on some fingers. So she's probably married. Yada, yada, right? I'm not her type. And actually, let's be honest, she's not that hot. She's not my type, actually. So once between 3 and 12 seconds passed, your brain delivered you all these reasons why you should not do it. Really, what you should do instead is be in the moment. Be completely present with yourself. Presence is the craziest life hack in the world, basically. I'm not the first guy saying this. All desire leads to suffering, Buddha says. Whenever you live in the past, you are depressed. When you live in the future, you are annoyed or whatever. Your lack of presence. Because if you would be present, and the student asked me this, maybe it was Walter, I don't remember. It's like, hey Alex, when do I know if I should approach a girl? Right? So you see her on the street, and it's like, how do I know if she's the one I should say hi to? I told him it's the wrong question. Your brain noticed her. We're in London or wherever. We walk through people. We pass through thousands of people every day, at least hundreds. And for some reason, your brain made you notice her. That is enough. As soon as you notice her, you should approach her. You shouldn't question it anymore. As soon as you start questioning it, you're not present. If you're completely present, I noticed her, I should say hi. And also, that's it, you just say hi. Because as soon as you're out of presence, you start overthinking. You don't just think, I should say hi, you say, well, what would I say? But what if I say that and she says that? And then what if she doesn't hear me? And what if she doesn't speak English? And what if she doesn't like the, and blah, blah, blah. What happened here? I'm again in the future. I'm not present. So most of you guys are very, very analytical, me including. We like having a plan. We like thinking things through before we do them. Makes sense, right? Some of you guys are in finance. Some of you guys are in technical jobs, coders. Well, of course, before we make an investment, we want to kind of like know, am I going to lose all my money? Before you deploy some code, you want to know, is it going to break the whole fucking system? Your analytical mind is fucking up your real world social results. Because also all of you guys who've done cold approach know, women are generally quite friendly, right? Like, who had more than 90% neutral or positive reactions when they talk to a girl? Anybody, let's invert it, who had more than 10% negative? You can be honest, maybe. All right, 0. So when we do it, girls like it. We still don't do it. Not enough at least, right? We could do way more. Because again, most of the time, we start overthinking. So all these banners of don't harass and don't blah, it's like, it's bullshit. Women like being approached. I've been doing it in many, many countries over the last 10 years. I've been doing it myself. I've done it with hundreds of students, and the results are always the same. Sure, for some guys it takes a week, for some guys it takes a year to get like good results, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, what's the alternative? Like Tinder? And it's really about, when I say integrated man, it's a lot about becoming present. A lot of it is just becoming present. Because if you're completely present, you just walk down the street, you see the girl, you notice that you noticed her, you say hi, and then you go moment by moment by moment. Like literally like split second by split second. Because then you say hi and she says, hi. And then you say, oh, did I surprise you? And then she says, no, it's fine. And so on, whatever, right? So by that, you let go of all the what should I say stuff. Or what if, da da da. It's like, I don't know the answer, right? If you ask me, Alex, what's the best opener? I don't know. Just say hi first. Figure it out later. Sure, there's good lines and yada yada, but you know, that's my other point. You guys are nice guys. That's why you're here. And your nice guy behavior is a superpower if you couple it with grounded masculinity, which is another way of saying being present, right? Being grounded. Like, grounded. I'm grounded. I feel the feet on the floor. Feel your ass right now on the chair. Take a deep breath and feel your ass on the chair. You're more grounded. My voice gets deeper. Do more of that all the time. If you take risks. So if you're only a nice guy who never takes risks, you won't get results. The world doesn't reward dudes who don't take action, who don't take risks. I took risks. Clarity about what you want from her. Living in the moment, presence, good style, fit body, clear mind. And you have empathy about what she actually wants. All of these things are just being present. Another way of saying being present. You live in the moment. You have clarity of what you want from her. You have empathy, right? Empathy is just like seeing how a person feels right now and then thinking, okay, maybe I should do like this. If the girl is in front of you and she's blushing, or she takes a step back, or she smiles, or she's a bit surprised, or she puts her hands up, or she moves away from you, all of that is just being present and feeling what she feels in the moment. I want to talk about taking risks. Quickly, about taking risks. So, why did I get good at this? Because every time I took a risk, I was aware of the worst possible outcome. And the worst possible outcome, so I was still thinking about it, the worst possible outcome is 99% of the time really not a big deal, right? Moving to another country seems very scary for a lot of dudes. Well, what could go wrong? Maybe you get robbed, or, I don't know, nothing bad. A war starts. Okay, that happened to me. You talk to a girl. What's the worst thing that can happen? 4 people laugh at you. You I don't know, I'm out of examples, but basically, if you really think about all the risks you're avoiding, the upside is so much bigger than the downside. And that's okay to get clarity on. Like, think that shit through. Like, if you're analytical, sure, calculate the risk one time and then keep doing it. Also, if you're an integrated man, you're not afraid anymore constantly because things are just happening in the moment. There was another situation. I was coaching a guy, it was like 2 weeks ago in Budapest. And he approached a girl and it didn't go well. And, well, she just didn't want to talk to him, it was fine. And then on the same square, which was quite big, I told him, hey, talk to that other girl. And he's like, well, but I just talked to that one, and isn't that weird? You know? And I'm like, you're in the past. You think about that one. But if you focus on this one, she's beautiful. She has a good style, she looks happy, she's smiling. Why, when you're about to meet a beautiful stranger, you're thinking about the past of what happened 1 minute, 20 seconds ago, right? And of course I understand him, because I've done the same all the time. But really, think about it. It makes no logical sense to constantly being like, but I did this and it didn't go well, and she sees me and she will have a thought, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like, let her live in the past, but you should live in the present. So live in the present more and more and more. So what now? You, if you want to, today can enter a period of your life of intense focus on that thing of becoming more social, right? So I want to give some practical advice, how to do that, right? It's all theory, so I want to give you guys some practical stuff. Top 3 mistakes when starting out. A lot of you guys already started out, but it's a good reminder. No pausing / talking too fast. Who is guilty of that? Right. Who wants to demo with me? Who wants to be on camera? Just quickly demo a slow talking exercise. Anyone? No? Yes? Okay. Let's go. So, me and Elvis are gonna have a conversation. Very simple exercise where after every time I finish something, every time I finish a sentence, before you answer, you're gonna wait minimum 2 seconds. Or you can say you count till 3 in your mind, right? You're gonna watch and then you guys are gonna do the same with each other. So I'm just gonna start. Elvis, where did you come in from today?
Cardiff.
Was that 2 seconds? No, it's too fast, right?
That's not 2 seconds.
No. And that's a great point. It always feels like it's way longer, but it's not, right? Especially when the girl is really sexy. Oh, I've never heard that place. Where is it?
Wales.
How is it living in Wales?
It's okay.
Have you thought about moving to a different country before?
Yeah.
And what needs to happen for you to move?
I need to get some money, or I just need to travel.
That makes sense. We all need money. Okay, simple, easy for now. What's going on? Can we do this? So make couples of 2, relocate if you have to. Yeah, you can do it with him. You can do it. It's fine. Sit down here. This should be quiet. You guys are screaming and you're talking way too fast. So slow down, like it's quiet voice, and really pause, and then just get to know each other. So each, let's do 2 minutes. So everybody has like 4 questions. So if you don't feel awkward, you're not doing it right. You want to feel a bit like, what the fuck is happening, right? So go.
Ready for your speech?
No, I'm ready. It's not that hard. It's not my first speech. Just my nails are uneven. This side is longer. I don't know why it's growing faster. Or I'm biting the left side.
No one's gonna see that. You're gonna be stood like 5 meters away. Like, this guy's nails now. He's not gonna date him.
Yeah.
Not with nails like that.
Well, it shows I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be good. Well, we're going. Curious how many people show up. On the list, it's like 25. Told them last minute to bring their friends. So it might be like 7 people. Might be like 17, 25. I expect like 16. So that's been 50 minutes. Okay, 50 minutes. That's gonna be an hour talk. It's good, right? Elvis couldn't handle it. Let's check. Too fast. Checking. Check. Too fast. That was also no pause. There was no pause. You guys are not pausing. Okay. Nice. I checked in a little bit. It was too fast, but all right, Mark. I know. How was that? A little awkward. Yeah, still too fast, right? And that's fine. And it's one of these little things where we take a social risk, actually, right? We do take a social risk by just pausing for an extra 1.4 seconds than it would feel normal. Because we're used to talking like da 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 da, but it's not sexy. It's very analytically focused. Right? How does a werewolf talk? How does a vampire talk? Or a pirate. A pirate is like, oh, today I was invading the thing, and the bombs and blah, blah, you know? He's like, I'm a pirate. I want to kill. You know, it's like oh shit. So you're taking a social risk, and you don't know, is it going to be rewarded? You're like a little bit in the dark. You're like, oh, will she think I'm weird? You kind of have to trust that it's good. But I want you to experiment even with that one thing in your life from now on. Right? That's the most simple exercise. Just pause for 2 seconds and stand in that pressure. Because what it also does, if you pause, you can reset a bit. You can, again, feel the feet on the ground or your ass on the chair. You can actually think, what am I going to say next? Right? Gives you time. And makes everybody listen. It's not been silent like that before. Where have my mouse? Okay, so that's a huge mistake. Basically, all the guys we work with talk too fast. It is what it is. And why they talk too fast? Because they want to fit in. They don't want to take social risks. They don't want to feel awkward. They don't want to make the girl feel awkward. And by that, the sex, the tension, the attraction goes out the window. And they come off as a nice guy. Other issue can be weird vibe, no smiling, too serious. Understandably, right? Like you stay in front of that hot woman, you're like, you know, and you're not really relaxed and maybe a bit tense. How we're going to deal with that? Same thing. Literally take a deep breath in and just relax and smile. And you can put those two things together. You can tell yourself, when I feel tense or when I feel not present, I smile. And when I smile, I make myself feel relaxed. And when I'm not relaxed, I smile. And when I smile, I feel present. Sounds ridiculous, but it's a superpower. Whenever you see yourself worrying, being in the past, thinking about something bad, first, smile. And see what that does to you. Everybody smile. Well, smile. You can show some teeth. Feels good? Better than before, often. So, another big problem is once guys starting at least to approach, they're not closing enough. They're letting girls go too much. Again, it's a social risk, right? Asking her for a date, telling a girl, hey, you're cool, I want to take you out. What's your number? What if she says no? Makes us feel a bit bad. So a lot of guys make assumptions. They're like, nah, she doesn't like me, I shouldn't even try, right? Or she said something, or she mentioned some guy, or therefore I can't. Or she's leaving tomorrow. And again, what are you doing? You're living in the future. You're not living in the present moment. If you live in the present moment, you just take your shot. And then she can still say no, and then you deal with that, right? Then we can be more persuasive, or we can downsell. You know, a lot of times guys have like one way of closing. They're like, hey, I like you. You want to have coffee tomorrow? And the girl is like, no. And then the guy is like, okay, bye, right? It's like, well, maybe she wants to have coffee the day after tomorrow. Or maybe she wants to first chat with you on WhatsApp, or exchange Instagram profile, or wants to come to your house party. So it'll be a little more creative what closing means. But definitely go for it. Cool. Top 3 reasons guys don't even start with this, which seems like this room, but maybe for you guys on YouTube. You take rejection personally. Who was really crushed when a girl rejected them before? Who was like, you know, at least for like an hour or a day or a week was like, fuck, like she hurt me. Me included, many times, happens, right? Logically, she doesn't have that power over us, we give her that power. Right? She's just a woman and she's going her day, and then we show up, and then fair enough, she doesn't want to have anything to do with us in that moment. She doesn't want to meet a stranger right now. Fine. Cool, right? Next one, like let it go. So taking rejection personally, again, we're not really being present. We're living in the past. We're giving that, not imaginary, but like this woman who we met an hour ago, a day ago, a week ago, so much power over our current emotions. And it makes no sense because we didn't do anything wrong. Sure, if we have a wife and we cheat on her, okay, it's a little harder to just let go, like you fucked up maybe. But some stranger who we interacted with for 10 seconds, don't give anybody that power. We might be in the wrong location, right? So that's where reality comes in. There is cities that are great for meeting young, available single ladies. And there are cities who really suck for that. Or there's villages where it just doesn't happen. It's when you have to ask yourself, how important is this for you? Where you're currently living, does it serve your future self? Will you have a better chance to becoming that integrated man when you stay at the place where you are right now? Or should you move? Moving is not that scary if you really try it. Have you tried it? Try it. Book a place for a month or 2 months or 3 months in another country, and you will figure out, it's fine. I can learn the language a bit. I can meet friends pretty quickly. There's Facebook groups for pretty much anything. You can meet new dudes on a football match or go to some class, be open in bars, and you have a new friend circle within a month. It's true. Way too many guys stay in their location way too long, and it doesn't serve them. I'm from a village in Austria with 200 people, and then the next city is 10,000 people. And then you have to drive 2.5 hours to the capital. And even that capital didn't serve me. So I went to Budapest and I went to Ukraine, right? So it's like, doesn't serve me, move. You can figure it out, you're smart. Also, third reason why guys don't even start, no brotherhood, toxic community, right? Here, Tate is right, you need your boys. You need a brotherhood. You can't do this alone. Doesn't work. This is very important. This is urgent. You need to do this. Like I want to hammer that one home. If you don't start this 6 to 12 to 24 month period of your life, it's going to fuck you in the future. Because you're not going to date the women you truly want. You're going to rely on algorithms. Or the worst case, you're going to have an AI girlfriend. You're going to be fucking sex robots and not enjoying it. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be great. I don't know. And I did that, right? Like, I asked a question, why do I have success? I went to Budapest as this film boy, I took my shot, right? I was offering James, hey, I can do stuff for you. I can work for you. I literally moved country. I quit my job. I neglected my uni because I was spending like 3 days in Budapest, 4 days in Vienna for 6 months, and then moved completely to Budapest. I worked for free. I basically, the day James sent me that email, I booked a flight from Dubai where I spent time with my brother to go to Vienna to take a train to Budapest. My brother was like, you fucking idiot. Like, you flying? First of all, you changing your ticket to leave me earlier, to fly somewhere, to work for free for a guy from the internet. Who will do what? Show you how to talk to girls on the street? Like, what are you doing? And I was like, yep, that's what I'm doing. So I went to Budapest. I pretended how to do studio shoots because my first gig was like, you know, doing a proper photo shoot for James for the website, and Liam was there and the whole team, and they were like, I was like, yep, I know totally how to do that. And then on the train, we were like researching. We downloaded quickly a course on Pirate Bay on how to set up lights in a studio, and we killed it. It was cool. Now, that really helped me. Because back in Vienna, finally, I had a brotherhood. I had a group chat with the boys. I finally came out of myself. Like, that was really a turning point. I tried cold approach myself before. I did a little bit. It was fucking hard. It was cruel. I had these audio books, and I was like, this doesn't work, and it's very frustrating. And only when I met these guys, for who it was normal, it changed my mindset, right? Like, imagine you spend a week with 4 guys who constantly talk down on yourself, on you. Or they're like, no, you can't do that. This is bad, right? The normal dudes. How many, even if you are 100% convinced that cold approach is the best shit ever and you have to do it and you do it all the time, you have interactions, eventually they will wear you down. Versus you spend a week with 4 guys who are just constantly approaching, who's showing you their texts they have with girls, who are just chatting about whatever happened last week. Even if you're like, maybe I don't feel like it, they will pull you up, right? So your environment really dictates your long-term success. And that's not just cold approach, that's everything. In business, in fitness, nutrition, relationships, everything. So a mentor will 10x your progress. Now you can mentor each other, that's good. You have 3 options. Basically, you figure this stuff out by yourself. So either completely lonely, which I argue is almost impossible because it is hard, we established that. You can find other dudes, that's great, you need to find them. You can use my community, my channel, events like this to meet other guys and really agree on tomorrow this time we go out, we're gonna hit the streets, or we do this, we do that, and that can help a lot. And then the question is, why didn't you do that already? You know, like, why are you not where you want to be? What's your excuse? If that's the option. Option 2, so this is an offer for you guys because you came here, and I'm gonna be in London for 2 more days. So if you want, you can do live coaching. So it's 2 action-packed days, which you can do. Option 3 is 6 months of mentoring, which some of you guys are doing already, which is, like I mentioned, the social transformation program, where we do weekly one-on-one calls. So you get to talk to either me or Liam every week. You get weekly group calls, where we come together, we check in with everyone, we sometimes share a new theory or something we learned. You get access to the tribe, which is a big Telegram group, over 50 members already. You get access to about 60 plus videos that are recorded that kind of like follow along that curriculum. Yo, before we jump into the speech, if you've missed that event in London, then I do have good news for you. So listen, on the 7th of July, I'm giving an online workshop that you can join. 50 spots because it's going to be interactive and you will have the chance to ask me any question. Who is this for? So if you're somebody watching this and you've maybe struggling with approach anxiety, so you see hot women on the street but you don't know what to do, or maybe you do approaches here and there but it's still feeling very clunky, or maybe you're somebody who already regularly or semi-regularly approaches, maybe gets numbers but doesn't end up on enough dates. So if you're in any of these phases of the early seduction journey, I'm creating an online workshop. It's gonna go for 2 hours. It's gonna go step by step through everything you need to know to go from one level to the next and actually get results. And I'm gonna be super honest there. I'm gonna integrate everything that I know, and throughout the entire workshop and in the end, you can ask questions. So click below if you wanna join that. Like I said, 50 spots available. And now let's jump into the London speech. Here's some reviews, by the way. Got 3 dates this weekend, another on Wednesday. There may be flakes, but still this is probably 3,000 times better than before I enrolled. That's me, wow, wow, wow. Amazing how easy it is to keep a conversation once I shut the fuck up. So he actually took that advice. All I needed to do was to give a couple of seconds. Nice, so it's the results from the group. Another benefit of joining this group might make my money back from meeting the people I met. Right. So actually, obviously, seduction is not just to bang, be an integrated man, to meet interesting guys. I mean, if you guys, we can talk about it later, but my network by now is insane. Literally 6 days ago, no less, 4 days ago, I flew in from Ibiza, where I hosted an event for a dude who just bought the villa with the best view in Ibiza for $25 million cash. And he paid me to put on an event. Good morning, what's up? I literally just got up, so forgive me for not wearing a shirt. Greetings from beautiful, beautiful Ibiza. It's a sunny day and I'm here with a great group of friends. We're going to a boat in an hour, so I just have a few minutes to chat. And then that's why I got in touch with that guy who bought the Tinder dater, because he's thinking where he should put his next $5 million, in which dating app. And the first guy was like, talk to Alex first, because he knows how it feels to be on dating apps. Because this guy only sees the dater. And how do I do that? Obviously by being charming, connected, understanding what not only women want, but men want, bringing people together. She literally came for coffee, same afternoon. Okay, so this guy picked up a girl on the street, met her the same day. I think it's bullshit, 100% crazy, before he heard that stuff. The calls, well, the one-on-one calls that happen every week for 26 weeks, therefore, because 6 months is 26 weeks, a lot of guys are on the street and we're in their ear telling them to approach. Other guys record themselves on an audio recorder and upload it to the group, and then we listen, well, not to the group, but to us, and we listen back to it. Or we talk about inner game, we talk about childhood trauma, we talk about that one girl you're obsessed with, we talk about last weekend when you had a date but you couldn't escalate. All that stuff. A lot of the calls are actually in field. So we designed this program around taking action. That's why the 60 videos is more like a bonus, right? A lot of online courses out there who are like, just watch the videos and you will do it, but you won't. Take this opportunity that you came here, that you're in the zone, to start that process, right? Like when it was 10 years ago, I came to Budapest and I never regretted it. And since then I spent tens of thousands of dollars on mentors. I did crazy shit. I once spent 25 grand just to go to meet a bunch of Playboy photographers for a week in the Maldives. 25,000. And out of that obviously came Tilted. Who knows Tilted? Yeah, most of you guys, right? Like, how did I come up with that shit? Obviously not sitting in a bedroom thinking I should become a Playboy photographer. Obviously I paid to meet the dudes who've already been doing it for 10 plus years, and I paid to get into their circles, and I became friends, and I delivered to them, and so on. And that's now what Tilted is, and now I make money with that. So however way you go, if with us, without us, please, like, if I want anything today, is that you understand how important this is, right? Whatever you focus on in your life, I get it, we all have jobs, we have responsibilities. But your life could be so much better if you become an integrated man, if you like yourself, if you're charismatic, if you can connect with strangers on a regular basis. Like, how amazing would it be to walk down the street and have a little chat there and a little chat there, and then pet the dog, and then talk to the old lady in the elevator, and then talk to one girl and don't even ask for her number, but then the other one, you ask for her number, and just go through that tomorrow, the day after, go through your life that way, consistently over the next year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. That would be cool, right? So that's what I want you guys to do. All right, so far for my talk, let's go into Q&A. Thank you.